We are joined today by the one and only Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart, WWE Hall of Famer, wrestling legend. He'll be at Midwest All-Star Wrestling's Heart of a Warrior 2 show coming up Saturday at St. Croix Casino in Turtle Lake, Wisconsin. Hey, Jimmy, how you doing today?
Hey, Dustin, how are you, baby?
Mr. Hart, it's an honor speaking with you. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much. Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
We were going to do it from the casino, but it was so loud over there with the games going on and everything, so we just came back over to the hotel so we could do it from here.
Awesome. Well, I know you are going to be with the Midwest All-Star Wrestling and the Heart of a Warrior 2 show. It's coming up on Saturday. And as you mentioned, at the St. Croix Casino in Turtle Lake, Wisconsin. It's got to be great for you to be back on the road here after everything that's been going on. And how has it been in Minnesota so far?
Well, it's been great. Matter of fact, last week I had a change of planes here in Minnesota, and boy, was it cold. I was in Baltimore last weekend, and then from there I went to Phoenix. So on the way to Phoenix, they sent me to Baltimore through Minnesota, right? So when I just got off the plane, just for a second, walked through the little tunnel, I went, woo, what a wake-up call that was. It was freezing. And then I went to Phoenix, and when I got there, it was cold there. So then when I came back home to Tampa after those 4-day shows, it was cold back in Tampa. So I'm kind of getting used to the cold weather now.
Well, again, the Midwest All-Star Wrestling show is on Saturday, and I know there's a meet and greet at 5, and there's a lot of great local wrestlers in action, but also a lot of legends as well. I know the Bushwhacker Luke and some of the guys you managed over the years, Greg Valentine, the Mounties even going to be there.
You're right. It's going to be, and Greg the Hammer Valentine, it's just going to be a super, super night. We've got the 8 big matches that take place at 7 o'clock, and at 5 o'clock, we want the people to come out early, because you get a chance to meet Greg Valentine, WWE Hall of Famer, Luke of the Bushwhackers, Hall of Famer, and me, the Mouth of the South, Hall of Famer. And hopefully maybe this next year or the year after, we can get Jacques Rougeau in, one half of the Rougeau brothers, and the Mountie. So he's kind of had a double way to get into the Hall of Fame. So it's going to be a great night. We got the matches, we got the autograph sessions, and the casino's a fun place to be. It's great over there.
Well, Jimmy, you were a part of generations of people's lives and childhoods. How is it for you, at some of these independent shows to meet some of the fans?
Well, it's great. First of all, even going to the independent shows, flying on the airplane, you still have people that recognize you and talk to you about their favorite moment, and I love that. And then just like today over the casino today, we were there, we took a few pictures, so the people who just came in, they were getting tickets for the show for tomorrow night. And everybody's been so wonderful and so gracious, and I'm glad that we've left a few good memories about wrestling in their minds.
Excellent. And again, if you can't make it to the show, it's also on Fight TV. It seems, with the way the internet and streaming and YouTube and all that is now, it's almost like the territory days are back. I mean, it could never be like that it was back in the day, but it's probably as close as we'll get here.
Well, I didn't realize how strong the social media really was, but about, I guess 6 weeks ago, I was in Dallas, Texas, promoting WrestleMania on sale tickets. And while I was out there, I had to do a basketball game with the Mavericks. And it was me and Bailey. And Bailey leaned over and she said, Jimmy, let's take a selfie. And I said, okay. We took a selfie. Time she put it out there, and all of a sudden Sasha Banks tweeted about it, and Natty Neidhart tweeted. Before you know it, we had 7 or 8 million people that saw Jimmy Hart and Bailey's picture at the basketball game. So, it's phenomenal how big it really is. And like tonight, Friday night, if you're sitting home in the cold weather, you get a chance to see SmackDown. That's what I'll be watching tonight.
Well, Jimmy, I wanted to ask you a bit about your music career, if that's all right.
Oh, I love it, yeah.
Well, you've done so much in wrestling as an on-screen performer and a manager, and obviously you've done so much behind the scenes as well, and all the music you created over the years, that might be just as big an impact for a lot of people. And people know you've had success in music with the Gentrys, but the impact you had on fans through the wrestling themes, I mean, that's got to be much more influential, I would think, in a bigger way, bigger audience than most people could pull off, just being in a band.
Well, you know what? It's so cool. It seems like all the wrestlers want to be in music, and all the music guys want to be in wrestling. It's crazy like that. But, I was blessed. I had a chance to, Jerry Lawler and myself went to the same school together, Treadwell High School in Memphis, Tennessee. He went into wrestling, and I went into music. And when you know it, 5 or 6 years later, he gave me a phone call when I was back off tour. And he said, would you help me with a wrestling album? And I said, I'd love to. In the meantime, we hit it off so good together. He said, well, look, how would you like to manage me and work with our company? I said, I'd love it, because I always loved wrestling growing up anyhow. And the next thing you know, I'm managing Jerry the King Lawler and Handsome Jimmy Valiant, and Andy Kaufman, and Joe LeDuc, and the list just goes on in Memphis. And then about 5 or 6 years I was there, and then I had the magic phone call from Vince McMahon himself, and I said, Pete, don't fail me now, baby. And I went straight to New York City, and I was on the first WrestleMania, and that still means a lot to me, because a lot of people say, what's the most important WrestleMania you've been on? And it had to be number one, because if number one had not been successful, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you now on the phone.
Definitely. You mentioned Jerry Lawler. I know you did some great music with him, and you did the Hulk Rules album with Hulk Hogan. What's the status on all that music? Do you have the rights to it, or are you able to maybe release, kind of like a Jimmy Hart box set or something down the road?
I wish I could, but you know what? We gave all of our rights. We worked for the WWF, still do, WWE, and we signed all of our publishing over to them. And me and my partner, we kept our writers and stuff. But, if you own publishing, you get to do what you want to. If you want to do commercials with it, you really have the right to do it. And so, we still hear, Sexy Boy by Shawn Michaels that we wrote, me and my partner, has over 2 million hits on Spotify.
Well, Jimmy, one of my favorite albums, the one that Terry Funk did in Japan, how much influence and impact did you have on that one?
Well, was that called the Great Texan or something?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I couldn't remember. Yeah, I went to Terry's house up in Amarillo, Texas years ago when we did it. I was in Memphis then, and we sat down, and I had a bunch of tracks of some songs like We Hate School, and we changed a lot of the words around on them, and before you know it, Terry's in there singing, and we flew to L.A., a Japanese company came in, and he put his voice on everything, and I sang backup on it, but that was really a lot of fun doing that song with Terry, because, Terry said, I can't sing, Jimmy, I can't sing the lift, but he did a great job of doing it. But, I've been so blessed having the songs on the wrestling albums and having a gold record back from the early Gentry days and touring with the Beach Boys. And a lot of people don't know it, but one of our first gigs was at the Whiskey A Go-Go in Hollywood, California. And our warm-up group was the Buffalo Springfield, which was Neil Young, Richie Fury, wow, and Stephen Stills. And so I still have great memories of that.
And you had your own album out, too, Outrageous Conduct, which I love. Can you tell the listeners a bit about that, how that came about?
Boy, you've been digging deep. You've done your homework. This is awesome. Yeah, we had it released in Canada only, and it sold over 50,000 copies, which I got like a certified kind of gold album over there, which you can sell 50,000 copies in Canada. It's considered like a gold album. So, well, I've got one of those on the wall and all. But we had so much fun doing that. A gentleman got a hold of me and said, Jimmy, I'd like to do some old songs that you did in Memphis. And we did a few of those things and had them out. And that was really the first version of We Hate School was on that. And it like I said, my whole life, it's been in either wrestling or music. I never really had a plan for it when I got out of high school. And everything's just kind of fallen into place. It's been unbelievable.
And I know that one was re-released by the WWF. Is that something we could see maybe come out again in some form? It's been tough to track down here as of late.
Well, you never know. You know what's old is new again, and it's hard to kill the past. Everybody loves to live on the past, and that's what's so good about the show tomorrow night, is because at 5 o'clock, you get to see some of the past that you grew up on, which is Greg the Hammer Valentine, me, the Mouse South Jimmy Hart, Lou of the Bushwhackers, Jacques Rougeau as the Mountie, or as one of the fabulous Rougeau brothers. And then you're going to be so surprised when you watch the matches at the 7 o'clock. It is unbelievable. Some of these younger kids, they are phenomenal.
Well, and Jimmy, you've obviously been there, everywhere and in every facet. So I imagine it's great for some of these independent wrestlers to be able to kind of pick your brain and, get some advice from you.
Well, you know what? I don't really push myself on them, but if they come over and want to talk about the match that you just had, because I love watching the matches when I can, and I try to critique them a little bit, but my main thing, I should have bought a ringside ticket to all the shows I've been on through the years, because, look, I've been at ringside for Hulk Hogan, world manager, really, Brutus the Barber BK, Greg Valentine, King No Money, Adrian Adonis, the Hart Foundation, the Nasty Boys, Earthquake and Typhoon, Terry and Dory Funk, the $1 Million Man, not only doing a lot of the theme songs for him. So, like I said, I look in the mirror every day and pinch myself and go, did I want to get paid for doing this?
Yeah, and the thing I love back in the day, you know, when you were at events like WrestleMania or SummerSlam, you would be making, you know, sometimes 2, 3, 4 wardrobe changes, and you always had personalized outfits for the guys you managed. I can't imagine how you were able to even travel with all that stuff, let alone be able to create all those different outfits.
Well, you know, the one that stands in my mind the most is WrestleMania 3, 93,000 plus people at the Silverdome in Detroit. We, you know, I went out, I had a match with the Hart Foundation, with Danny Davis with us, and also on the other side was the British Bulldogs and Tito Santana. So I had a different jacket on for that, ran back, changed jackets, went out with a Honky Tonk Man against Jake Roberts and Alice Cooper. Came back after that match, changed jackets again, and went out with Adrian Adonis, who I was managing, against Rowdy Roddy Piper. So after that, I was able to sit back and watch the main event, which was Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant. And what a thrill that was, just being part of that, just being part of WrestleMania 1, going into a dressing room. Think about my office. I go in each night, my office is a different city, different building, and I go in and I look to my left, there's Andre the Giant playing cards. Over on my right, there's a Honky Tonk Man tuning guitar. Over in the middle, there's the British Bulldogs feeding Matilda. There's Jake Roberts with Damien. There's Nikolai Volkov rehearsing the Russian national anthem and going over their match with the Nasty Boys. And when they got the ring, they forgot about everything they talked about. But it was just such a great time for me, and a time to be so blessed to be with the WWE back then.
Definitely. And, you know, today it's a great time to be a wrestling fan as well, with so many companies thriving. And, of course, Midwest All-Star Wrestling, one of them, and the Heart of a Warrior 2 show coming up here. Again, Saturday, St. Croix Casino in Turtle Lake, Wisconsin. Jimmy, is there anything else coming up for you? Any other appearances or maybe some projects you're working on?
Well, you know what? Each year I always go out and do little stuff for WrestleMania each year, which is great because it's also great to see all the superstars and to be in front of the fans, of course. And then I've got a few projects coming up about some of the new DVDs they're putting out, and I'll be doing some of the commentating on that. And, of course, if you're in Tampa, every Monday night you can see Jimmy Hart and Hulk Hogan do karaoke at Hogan's Hangout. That's on Monday night, so check us all out. But we're still living the dream. It's just been awesome. And like I said, I'm so glad to be here with MAW. And like I said, it's the Heart of a Champion 2, which is going to be great. And once again, I just got to tell everybody, you got to get there early because at 5 o'clock, Greg Valentine, Jimmy Hart, the Bushwhacker, John Joe, we're going to be doing autographs for all the fans. But at 7 o'clock, strap on your seat belts because you're going to see 8 big matches. It is going to be so unbelievable. When it's over, the people will be calling you saying, you know what, this was one of the greatest shows we've ever been part of. So we just we just came back from the casino having lunch over there. What a great place to eat. The casino is unbelievable here.
Awesome. Again, Jimmy, I am a huge fan of yours, and I have been since I was a little kid, and it's been an absolute honor speaking with you today. Thank you so much.
No, we love you for having us on. This really helps tremendously, and thank you. We really appreciate it.
All right, anytime. Thank you so much.
All right, baby, thank you.
And again, that was the one and only Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart, WWE Hall of Famer, wrestling legend, and he'll be part of Midwest All-Star Wrestling's Heart of a Warrior 2 show on Saturday at St. Croix Casino in Turtle Lake, Wisconsin.